The subtitle of my forthcoming book, Hold That Thought, is this: Sorting Through the Voices in Our Heads. And throughout the book, I use the words thought and voice synonymously. So today, I'm going to share with you a brief version of the before and after of finding and using my own God-given voice. I'm Jem Fadling, and it's time for I Can Do That. In the early part of my life, I'd like to think that I was a relatively functional and intelligent participant in my own life. And I was. I got married, I held down a job, and we began a family. I enjoyed a large community and a wonderful life. However, under the surface, I didn't really have access to my own individual voice. There was a kind of holy confidence missing. Self-doubt and anxiety often ruled the day, and I knew little of boundaries. And as I reflect back on that season, I notice three dynamics were at play. The first dynamic is that I unconsciously apologized for taking up space. For example, if I was speaking or sharing a spiritual practice at a retreat, I distinctly remember feeling as though I needed to rush so that whoever was next could come forward. I didn't have an inherent sense of my own importance. Not in an arrogant or egotistical way, but I just simply the honor and respect that a typical human being might enjoy. Now remember, this was way underneath the surface, hidden even from me. I was actually quite functional in how I conducted myself among people, but underneath there was a deep insecurity, and this led to a lack of holy confidence. The second dynamic I noticed upon my reflection is that I rarely said the word I. I didn't have a very confident sense of my own self. Now, some of this has to do with the fact that Alan and I connected very young. We got married, and I moved straight out of my parents' house into marriage. And due to our own issues, we created a we. And that's not necessarily bad. There is a definite and appropriate we inside of a marriage. But my we extended beyond that. And I rarely said the word I. When I shared a story, it was always we. Again, this is not about arrogance or ego. This is about having a confident and holy sense of self, myself, as a child of God. Now, the third dynamic I noticed is that I could not say, I deserve. Now, this one is a little tricky because most of us have probably been taught about grace and mercy and that we don't deserve either one, which is what makes them what they are. Now, however, having a felt sense of not deserving anything is not healthy. I couldn't even say yes to I deserve to be loved. I am indeed a loved, created, and nurtured child of God, and not having a sense of deserving anything is too low a view of myself in this light. I hope you're catching my nuance here. I'm not talking about grabbing and egomaniacal deserving. I'm saying it's okay to have a healthy respect and an appropriate sense of deserving, at least of love. The thing about each one of these dynamics is that I had a too low view of myself. I needed a more healthy sense of myself just to come up to base level. And this is what I call the before of finding my voice. I didn't have a real voice or a healthy sense of agency in much of the first half of my life. However, since I did engage my midlife formational journey and I had a really good dose of therapy, I can share with you now that these dynamics are no longer at play as they were before. I now enjoy a major shift of focus. I know who I am in God, and holy confidence has emerged. I feel more solid inside because I stand more firmly on who God says I am. My confidence comes from Him. This holy confidence feels like being in flow much of the time. Sure, I still struggle just like all of us do in day-to-day ways. However, in a central place inside myself, I stand on this holy confidence and I move forward in flow. There's obviously much more to the story here. How did I get from there to here? Well, I unpack all of this more in Hold That Thought, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. What I want to say to you is this. It's never too late to notice whether you feel like you have agency or a voice in your own life. You can notice it at any point and begin to make the shifts required to grow in your holy confidence. And it begins in part with believing in God's view of you. You are holy and dearly loved without question. And yes, this may be a long process, but all good moves are. The entire journey is necessary and worth it, and you can make your way. You can find and use your God-given voice, and all of us will benefit from your newfound freedom. So here's your I can do that for this week. Depending on where you are in this journey of finding your voice, try engaging one of these questions. If you feel voiceless in your own life, take some time to reflect, like I did. What unhelpful dynamics rise to the surface for you as you find yourself feeling voiceless? Second, if you're in the middle of the process of finding your voice, what do you notice is helping you make your way? And third, if you're standing in your God-given voice, take some time to reflect back and give thanks for your journey thus far as you look forward to more and more freedom. Remember, you're making your way forward one small, simple, and gracious step at a time. Now keep listening, because I told you last week that we're headed into a really fun fall, and I want to let you know something really cool. It's time to pre-order Hold That Thought. And I've got some amazing gifts for you when you do. Here is what's coming your way when you pre-order the book. When you pre-order, you'll receive lots of free goodies from me, including these. You're going to get a set of 7 digital art cards. They are beautiful. You can engage all 7 voices within the book with new content that's not in the book. So on one side of the card, it's a beautiful image with the name of the voice, and on the other side are ways to engage it in a healthy way. And don't worry, we will be talking about the voices in future episodes. There's going to be 3 coaching videos where I highlight some of the main themes of the book, hear directly from me. I'm going to give you 1 whole free month of Replenish beginning on September 12. This is the online coaching and community for women that I've been sharing with you. You get a whole month for free so you can come in and see what's happening. There's 2 digital chapters of Hold That Thought. You'll get a sneak peek before anyone else. You'll get to read 2 whole chapters ahead of time. And there's going to be a private Facebook group where I'll share more early insider info, and we'll have some chats. So join my book party and pre-order today at unhurriedliving.com/holdthatthought.